So in front of me, something super cool. We have the entire Samsung Galaxy S26 lineup, all the way from the S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra. Your very first look, every single colorway, every single comparison. Let's hop in. So you can see the first thing off the bat is the colorway options that you could get. As a little note, the white one's not available in Canada, that's US only. There's also 2 online exclusives, but the flagship color this year is Cobalt Violet. It's super nice and saturated, more so than like the lighter blue one. It's got a hint of purple, but really nice, deep, and rich. And before I put the rest of the other ones away, you can quickly see a little size comparison against all 3. So for the Ultra, that's 6.9 inches. For the S26 Plus, that's 6.7. And just for the standard S26, that is 6.3 inches. So we're gonna talk mostly around the flagship. Obviously, for the unboxing experience, you'll just get the bare minimals in it. And obviously the big physical difference on the Ultra, which you'll see, is it has the S Pen, which is now more so on the corner. So I'll compare it against the S25 Ultra. You'll see that it's actually more rounded. And I guess the only sad part is placing it straight down. Being a reviewer, that will be even tougher. The S Pen is also color matched, technically the tips. So there's 2 gray ones as well as 2 white ones, depending on the color option that you can get. And keep in mind, since it is in the corner, technically you can put the S Pen in the wrong way and it is no longer flush. So it has to go in the right way around. And for the rest of the design, you can see it's pretty similar. So they've actually gone back to aluminum, mostly around a thermal management. That's the bands around the outside. It's actually a little bit thinner. It's 7.9 millimeters and 8% thinner. And if we go across the rest of the colorway, just as a little comparison, so you can see it also comes in white. Like I said, only to the US. We've got the standard one in black as well as sky blue on the end. And you can see the aluminum rails that are now on the outside to kind of color match everything. Like I said, if you're going for a new color option, honestly, just the flagship one, I think this is the nicest one. It's the unique one out of the bunch. But yeah, let me know your fave. So let's remove all this and just focus on the new features of the Ultra. So I'd say overall, the design change is fairly minimal in terms of the aesthetic. It still feels like a super premium phone. I actually like the fact that it's a bit more rounded, so it isn't as sharp in the hand when you hold it. Obviously, that's all personal preference. But the big change here is a little upgrade to the display called Privacy Display. So this is being leaked like literally forever. It's a little option that you can see and you can toggle. So it's actually really cool about this. When you turn it on, if you can see that off camera, to me, I can no longer see what's happening on the screen. And obviously to you, you can see that. And as I start to turn it, everything on the display is automatically kind of like private. So typically before you'd have to have a screen protector for that. Now that is built into the actual display. What's actually really cool, within the options, you can have that for specific apps. So say you are, privy to banking apps, you don't want anyone to see that. Maybe within messaging, even some photos that you don't want anyone to see, but it also applies to specific sections. So say notifications. So you can see that right here, conditions for turning on. That's now specific to notifications. And then within there, you can set that to say specific apps, like I said. So all of those are selectable. Technically it's all off, but for notifications, so you can't see that, but as I turn it, you can see the WhatsApp message that comes in. So that's really cool that it's specific to obviously notifications, to pop-ups, just in case you don't want other people seeing who's sending you stuff. So really, really cool on that regard. And obviously that feature alone makes it so much better than having a screen protector that blocks that, since you can just have it for specific zones. It also doesn't affect the brightness of the display. It doesn't wreck the screen quality. So in all, having something native built in is really, really cool. And the tech behind that is pixels are actually being dimmed diagonally. So they're only kind of showing front facing. And when you obviously turn the screen, that's when you can no longer see them. So once again, all native, all built in. This is the actual first phone that I've seen have it. Such a cool feature. It just saves you having to buy something third party. But in terms of the display, still one of the best on the market. So it's dynamic AMOLED 2X, 3120 by 1440 QHD+. Still one of the brightest, still one of the sharpest, still one of my favorite screens on the market, obviously LTPO. So it ranges in refresh rate from 0 to 120. Obviously that depends on what you're doing. The second big change around this is what comes to the internals and kind of how it performs. So this is rocking the latest silicone. So the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It actually has a new redesigned vapor chamber to have 21% better heat dissipation. That obviously does help with the aluminum, as that kind of manages charges heat a lot better. So when you're using this for anything like heavy, playing a lot of games, which a lot of people do with their devices, you're just able to use it at higher performance. If you just end up scrolling the doom of social media, that should also help. Obviously, everything on the device feels super quick and snappy. Being a flagship, I feel like that's been the same for the past couple years, but you won't really notice that difference unless you are truly like pushing your device a lot, unless you are actually playing like mobile games for a living. But I would say one of the biggest changes, sometimes overlooked in a lot of things, is actually a charging speed. So this has been really improved. So 60 watts wired charging, you can get around like 75% in 30 minutes. And for wireless charging, that is now 25 watts. Unfortunately, none of those extra like charging accessories come within the box. But for example, I picked up this really cool one from TORRAS. So this actually has Qi 2.2, and they also have a ton of like case accessories in case you want to protect your device. For example, this air case, which helps out a lot. So once this is snapped in, this is really cool. It has these air pockets kind of built in. This is their Q3 air case. We've got the purple on the purple phone, and I actually like this one because it has the little orange accents, but you can see here these little air cushions. So when you drop your device, typically, you know, on the corners, that's where you're gonna get the most protection on your phone. Brand new device, still working completely fine. It's like the same kind of cushioning as say like Nike Air Maxes with that little air cushion pocket. And on the side, this is their dot matrix design. Essentially just gives more grip when you're holding your device, just so you don't drop it as much. And what's really cool on the back, they have this little magnetic ring, but it rotates. So depending on what you do, say you want to snap your phone onto something, help capture content, and you can also use that as like a stand. So say when you're watching something in both portrait and landscape, and also if you want, you can just stick that on the back of your finger. And for the charger, they're polar circle wireless charger. So with, you know, MagSafe, with those magnets, it kind of snaps on. And you can actually hear that right away. The little cooling system that starts to activate to keep your device cooler so it charges faster. Obviously 25 watts, this is Qi 2.2. It also has that kickstand. So say when you want to watch like content when your phone is charging, you can still have that fully propped up. And it also comes with a 45 watt charging brick. So you get all your accessories kind of in one. So all those accessories will be linked down below. But for the rest of the actual device, so the S26 Ultra comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but for the first time, this also has the option to spec with 16 gigs of RAM. So interestingly enough, the base model in Canada is technically, what was it, like $19 cheaper. And for that base 256 model, that's $18.99 all the way up to $25.99 for the 1 terabyte with the 16 gigs. So next off, although the camera specs do look similar, there's actually a little change compared to the S25 Ultra. Also in terms of the design, so they've actually taken away the little rings, so you can no longer pop those off, but there are a slight aperture change for the main. So that's a 200 megapixel shooter that now has an f1.4, same ultra wide camera, so that's 50 megapixels f1.9. And lastly, for the 5x telephoto, which is a 50 megapixel camera that used to be an f3.4, it is now an f2.9. It's still the same 3x 10 megapixel camera, and also on the front, still the same 12 megapixel front facing camera. So there's one cool feature I would say within the camera system that changes that. So that is within video, you have now something called a horizontal lock. It now essentially locks to the horizon, so you no longer need, say, for example, a gimbal. So you can see how much that moves, and then kind of enabling that horizon or horizontal lock is now on. So once again, one of those built-in features. So now you don't need to buy that extra privacy screen protector. You don't need to buy an extra gimbal. So you're saving like hundreds of dollars if you use your device a lot. And yeah, super, super cool. I'm really rotating my phone here and it is super stable. And they also have a ton of new AI features built in. I'm always like hesitant around AI, like how many times do you actually use them? This is actually really, really cool. So now AI is kind of like prompt driven. So say I'm gonna take a photo, I'll use outside, you'll all know where I live. So Legree Studio, it is really mucky and nasty outside. We're in the middle of winter. But as an example, within the Galaxy AI button, and then from there, you've got a couple different options. And with this one for say prompt, as an example, make the weather sunny, just hit generate. Obviously this will just take as long as good as you're connected to the internet. And in a couple seconds, it makes the scene like sunnier. We even have like a bit of a sun flare there. So even swiping between both, this one obviously looks, yeah, like a typical like gloomy, shitty Toronto day, and going into there, way more cheerful, way sunnier, you know, and something that you normally don't typically consider. So like, for example, the road, super like glummy, once again, all wet. When you swipe on over, you even get like nice sun reflections off there. Looks way drier. Obviously our dude, He's still in his winter outfit, so that might give it away. But as an example, those things that you typically don't think of, and even something like the shadows and from the scooter gives that impression that that light source is real, whereas here, once again, super, super flat. So perhaps now maybe like more useful AI stuff that you can use more regularly and ones that actually look good. They also have an AI creative studio, just more options for AI if you want to. Something useful for like pro video creators, they still have their log feature, which I really like. You can now actually apply LUTs. So if you have like lookup tables that have a specific look, there's also now an APV codec. So that's a high video codec, just for more information if you do want to grade that. So really nice features overall, you know, for the camera. Obviously I'll test that out a bit more in depth for my full like review. They also have something called Now Nudge. Once again, just a useful feature with AI. Say you're talking within messages, you're setting up like a specific event, something that you want to add to your calendar, it will now give you that prompt. The Now bar is now a brief as a widget. Obviously you can see, yeah, it's shitty weather. And for example, Circle to Search, a lot of the features from Google, Gemini, it is now Circle to Search 3.0. So just keep in mind all of the AI features like Samsung related, that will currently be free, but say Google decides to charge $3 for Circle to Search in the future. Obviously, Samsung has no control of that. So just once again, keep that in mind. Those are pretty much the key big features and changes coming to the Samsung S26 Ultra. Like I said, new colorway. They've swapped back to aluminum, new vapor chamber, so increased cooling. We have improvements to the camera aperture-wise. The big one here is the privacy display. I'd love to see that on other devices because yeah, it's one of the first from Samsung. That's like actually innovation and still one of the best like anti-reflective screens. I feel like no one else, for example, like my iPhone, the anti-reflective screen is just pretty shitty. This one is, yeah, I would say the best display that you can get on the market with this cool feature. Just don't need to buy extra accessories to kind of boot. So if you have any questions down below for my full review, let me know. This is your very first look at the Samsung S26 Ultra, S26 Plus, and the base S26. More content coming across all three, and help me reach 1 million subs on the channel. We can hopefully get there in the next couple months. Peace.